This tutorial will demonstrate how to cite an article in a Bible dictionary or encyclopedia. In this case, we're going to be looking at an example from a multi-volume dictionary, the Anchor Bible Dictionary, which is 6 volumes in length. And so that'll be a little bit different than if you were to cite something from a dictionary that is only 1 volume. But this one's a little bit more complex, and so that's why we use this as an example. Even then, citing dictionary articles is fairly simple. The citations themselves are shorter typically than many other citations. The real trick is making sure you can find all the correct information to include in the citation. Specifically, finding the author's name can sometimes be difficult. So again, we're going to look at an example here from the Anchor Bible Dictionary, and specifically we want to cite an article on Epicureanism. So we've got an article on Epicureanism that runs for several pages here, starts on page 559 towards the bottom. These all caps and bolds titles, in bold titles, that indicates the beginning of a new article. So we have it starting there in the bottom of page 559, goes all the way through page 560. You can see the bibliography starting here at the bottom, and then the bibliography ending on the top of page 561. The first trick for citing an article is finding the author's name, and we can see right here at the end of the article is where the author's name is listed in the Anchor Bible Dictionary. That's common in Bible dictionaries or encyclopedias to put the author of the article's name at the end of the article. Sometimes there's an abbreviation for the author's name, maybe just their initials, and you have to go back to the front matter in the book to actually find the author's full name, which you will need for the citation. Sometimes the articles are unsigned, and in that case, the citation is going to look a little bit different. But your first goal when citing a source like this is make sure you can do your very best to find the author's name. And so here we have it here at the end, Elizabeth Asmus with an article on Epicureanism in the Anchor Bible Dictionary. Okay, so for our paradigm, I want to first look at the example from the Student Supplement to the SBL Handbook. The Student Supplement has a section on Bible dictionaries and encyclopedias that's a little bit shorter and more to the point, and therefore I think a little bit easier to use. And so you can see an example here of what the bibliography entry would look like, and what the footnote would look like. They are missing some things here. They don't have, for example, what a short footnote would look like, so we can jump over and look in the SBL Handbook of Style, the full version to find that, rather than just looking at the Student Supplement. But the supplement gets us off to a great start here if we're wanting to cite a bibliography article. So the first 2 items of information we need are the author's name and the article, and so we will start by typing that. So we have the author's name, last name first, and the bibliography, followed by the title of the article in quotation marks. Now we need to indicate the dictionary from which we got this particular article. Our example here is actually coming from the Anchor Bible Dictionary, as you might see, so that's easy for us to copy. But I want to show you how they got to where they got here. So you'll notice that in the bibliography entry, they're using an abbreviated form of the dictionary title, and then you've got a number before a colon and the number after a colon. Okay, so the italicized bit, that's the abbreviation for the dictionary. It is italicized rather than being non-italicized because it is a book that we're looking in here. There are series that you don't italicize because the series itself is not an individual volume, right? It's not actually the volume, but this is, with dictionaries, we're actually talking about books, so we'll italicize those. So we've got the italicized abbreviation for the dictionary. The number before the colon is the volume number, and the number after the colon is the page numbers for that particular article. So again, if we want to find out how to abbreviate something, we've got to go back to chapter 8 in the SBL Handbook, and we look in this section 8.4 where the abbreviations for journals, reference works, and series are alphabetized first by source and then by abbreviation. And so we can go back there and scroll through and look in alphabetical order, or in this case, since it's a digital document, I can just search for Anchor Bible. Find the page where these abbreviations appear. One trick with the Anchor Bible is that you might notice there are multiple sources that have Anchor Bible in their name. There is the Anchor Bible commentary series. That's what this AB is. That's not italicized because, again, that's the name of a series, not the name of a particular volume. You also have the Anchor Bible Reference Library, also a series. In this case, what we're looking at is the Anchor Bible Dictionary. Right, this volume that's edited by David Noel Freeman, right, 6 volumes. I give you all the information here so you know that's what we're talking about. That's the source we're working with, and so that's the abbreviation that we'll use, so italicized ABD. Now, we need the volume number of our particular source and the page numbers. This comes from volume 2, so we put that before the colon. And then we need the inclusive page numbers, which we've already looked at, 559 to 561. And in this case, I can leave off that 5 there. I don't need to duplicate that in my numbers, period. And that is the citation for the bibliography. So again, fairly easy. You can leave out a lot of that information because these dictionaries are such well-known sources. If you're looking here, right, you can see a longer bibliography entry that is available to you to use, as the authors here of the student supplement indicate. That is citing this source basically like an essay in an edited volume, a multi-volume edited volume in this case. So that we've done that kind of thing before, and so you could follow that. I think this is a good opportunity to use the short form when using these dictionaries. That'll be clear to your reader, right? That when you use this short form, you're citing a dictionary. So use these these shortened forms to the dictionaries, and that will save you some time and make it a little bit easier to cite. Often, this information, the editor, number of volumes, place of publication, it gets a little bit complicated with some of these dictionaries, and so that's where using this short form will be easier. Again, you can see if we want to make this into a footnote, it's fairly easy to do so, copying this information and moving it around in the ways that we're used to. So we can do that here. We'll begin by putting the author's first name first, separate things by commas, and that's it. All done, right? We've got the citation ready. Now, typically, after the colon, you would only put whatever page number you're citing, unless you're citing the whole article for some reason. So cite the specific page that you need. Now, you'll notice over here in the student supplement, it does not show you what a short footnote would look like. But if we switch over to the SBL Handbook in section 6.3.6, that's where you can find the paradigms for citing an article in an encyclopedia or dictionary. And you can see here an example of what the short footnote would look like. Very similar to what we've had before. Basically, the only information you would drop would be the information about the title of the dictionary. So if I wanted to make a short footnote, very easy to copy and paste this note. All right, drop the author's first name, drop the name of the dictionary, and there's my short footnote. So once you can find the information, most notably once you can find where the author's name is, that's normally the bit that takes a little bit of searching. Citing dictionaries can be a fairly simple and easy thing to do. One quick note here as you're putting together your bibliography. They note in the student supplement that if you cite multiple articles from the same dictionary, then in your bibliography you should just cite the dictionary as a whole rather than citing each individual article. So if I was writing a paper and I cited multiple articles from the Anchor Bible Dictionary, what they're recommending here is that in my bibliography I put just this one note, this one entry rather than an individual entry for each article. That's not a bad policy. However, I think that your professors who are reading your papers will actually want to know and be able to see the specific sources that you've cited. So I would recommend in your bibliography and in your footnotes be citing the individual articles. And so in the bibliography, go and just put an entry like this one for every one of the articles that you use, even if you use multiple articles from the Anchor Bible Dictionary. Because that's really what your professors are wanting to be able to see with a glance when they look at your bibliography. How many sources did you use? Where did those sources come from? Even though this citation might save some space in your bibliography, and a publisher might want to do that, for the purposes of a student paper, it's actually more helpful to see listed every single source that you use. So again, I would recommend in your bibliographies, go ahead and list each source rather than combining them and only putting one entry for the dictionary.